Okay, then, let's go. You know, nothing blights the civil service in a country like our own, like the scourge of ghost employees added to the payroll to collect wages. It's indefensible, just as it is barefaced. Benue State Governor Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia has dropped a howler. The reverend gentleman, if you ask me, has disclosed that a verification carried out by the state government there has revealed that the state wage bill was heavily padded. In addition to about 2,500 ghost workers that were discovered on the payroll. Question, who would save us from ghosts and their paymasters today?
What I've observed is that every new government does this. Every new government does this, and they always discover a lot. The government that Hyacinth Alia's government has supplanted did the same thing. In fact, he had to reduce the number of local government workers because politicians simply push their supporters, their people that they want to reward. They just push them to the local government. And they don't work, they just show up on payday, collect that month's pay, and disappear into thin air. So I remember interviewing Otom along with other journalists, you know, in his first month or so in office, and he was telling us that he was able to get more than 2,500 of such boys and girls of big politicians out of the system. But I couldn't go further, because if he went further, it could also hurt his political chances. Because the first thing I said was, why didn't you go beyond? And he said, no, it's not easy. So I understood his lingo. I just left him. By the time Hyacinth Alia leaves office, they will do the same thing. Mark my words. Another government will do the same thing, and it will make startling disclosures. I've not seen, except an unserious government, I've not seen anyone that will come in and not look at the payroll and not try to find out whether they are ghost workers. This is routine. They do it. They do it. And once they do it, they will save some money. This is what politicians do. Whether you are a politician in Kasok or not, it doesn't matter. This is what politicians do. The governor may not do it by himself, but some people working for him.
Yeah, but you think it's aimed at scoring a political point?
No, they make money off these things. It's as simple as that.
Well, that's curious.
They make money. When Kogi did his own, they discovered that some people were resident in Kwara State and were drawing salaries for doing nothing in Kogi State. I'll find out.
You don't say.
This is not new, especially with local governments. That's where they push such people, because it's like we have turned our attention away from local government. We don't really care what they do.
Yeah.
And these days, they will be receiving, hefty sums of money. So we need to focus on them and even find out whether they are putting the money that they get from the distributable revenue from the center to use at all. So it's startling to hear that, there's unlawful employment, salary padding, payments to dead or retired individuals, unlawful, inflation of wage bill. This is what these people do. Any government coming into office, because it will appear that once Alia has done this, after a while, they will relax, and then the sharks who are behind this
we start padding again.
It's the same people in the administration, because it's not going to purge the entire civil service of dirty-minded public servants.
Yeah.
No matter how he tries. Not everyone is a pastor.
Emeka, so we are a long, long way from home. But let me humor you a little. You remember a federal minister lost her job because she went ghost hunting? if you know what I mean. She saved the federal government monies in excess of 5 billion naira and so on. We applauded her, but she lost her job. And also, remember the book written by a former Minister of Finance?
Of course.
Fighting Corruption is Dangerous.
Dangerous, yes. Of course. So if you go out on the streets and you interact with a lot of these people out there, you'll be shocked. When you hear governors appoint special assistants, personal assistants, there are some of them that don't draw salaries. So they just give them the title, particularly when you hear essay on revenue generation, brackets, so-and-so sector. So they get, they get a community car. Maybe they get an official car. But theirs is to organize boys, organize young boys, young girls that will be going from place to place in search of revenue, going to markets, going all kinds of things, holding spikes on the road to impound vehicles. Now, you find out that a lot of these people, their names may be on the payroll, but they are expected to generate the bulk of their salary, all of their salaries. Like one of them on the street told me that he said, look, the government gives traditional rulers bring people, the big wigs in the parties bring people, different kinds of people bring their own nominees. So what do? They just look for some convenient places in the local government to hide these people and then tell them, go out. It's just like somebody buying a dog now and in the morning releases the dog to go and look for food. So the dog only comes to the house to sleep. They don't care how the dog fares. So that is why you have, the local governments are not performing optimally. State government seize funds of local governments. This joint state-local government account is used to siphon funds allocated to local governments. And then you find out that...
Sorry, are you in any way suggesting that this cankerworm of ghost workers and receiving salaries from non-ghosts must continue?
Do you know there have been reports of prominent people who were in charge of deciding how allocations to local government should go? These things come to them, they are given to them, and they decide. So when you talk of that's one of the problems with this democratic system. It allows different arms, and so within the three arms, it allows so many offices, and we have abused democracy in Nigeria. There are other countries that practice democracy, but ours is we just make it a reward system. To reward cronies, to reward thugs, to reward all kinds of party loyalists, all kinds of people. So for those who cannot get into certain places, they deploy them in different areas. But their names will be there. Look at that of Benue. Ghost workers, ghost schools. Ghost schools. It's also part of the report. Ghost schools.
Okay.
So when you talk of ghost schools, it's even worse because the funds allocated to the education sector have disappeared. Even counterpart funding, matching grants, and all those things. Where have the money gone?
Well, I'm trying to wrap my head around.
Oh, there's so much that
these ghosts.
There's so much. If you dig
that
into,
we must contend with them
you will be shocked.
In the foreseeable future. All right. Governor of Benue, I wish you very well.